Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning. Hi, Jeff.
Nice to see you both again.
Yes, it's a
Nice to see you too.
pleasure.
Looks like you
Nice
have
to, nice to see you.
good to see you. All right, let's start. Birgit, would you start by introducing yourself and who's standing right next to you there?
Yes, so hello, I'm Birgit Braunstein, calling from Austria. Next to me, it's my lovely son, my dear son Max, the oldest one of the twin guys. I have twin boys. This is Max, the elder one, and there is Felix in the vineyard down, so working on the tractor.
Awesome.
And
Max,
we are standing on the top of the hill at the Leiterberg. It's an area in Burgenland at the Lake Neusiedlersee.
it's a beautiful view. Wow.
Yeah,
So,
you get it? You get it? Okay.
sorry.
So you see the Lake Neusiedlersee. It's the biggest steppe lake of Europe. It's about 360 square kilometers. So really, it's like a Pacific. No, small Pacific, but it's really beautiful. Very famous for sailing and surfing and swimming and even kite surfing. It's up to now. And you see the lake is surrounded by hills.
Okay.
And the hills are called Leiterberg. And it's the end of the Alp. The Alps are going through Austria. They end here. Well, we always say that the Alps, they start here. It's a kind of view, but we say the Alps, they starts here at the Leiterberg. And the Leiterberg consists of schist and chalky limestone. This is the soil. And we are now standing on top of the hill. So there are about 7 levels from the lake up to the top of the hill, and we are standing now at the vineyard Goldberg, which is a very famous one. And next to us, it's already the forest.
Wow.
So I turn around, and probably now you can see Max again and a bit of forest. Yeah. So the forest is already starting here, and you can not feel it, but probably you see the leaves a bit moving. So we have always a lot of wind, which is perfect for sailing. But it's also the wind coming from the forest through our vineyards, and it's very good for our wine.
Wow. It's really stunning. I hadn't realized. I've only been there to visit Peter Schandel, so we were right in Roost.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic place too.
So could you tell us about yourself, Birgit, and like how you got into wine and your basically whole story, and then about your winery also?
Yes. So, well, Birgit Braunstein, it's my name, and the winery is called Birgit Braunstein. And you see it at the label, the BB, which is a Celtic symbol.
Wait, 1 second.
1 second. Maxi is changing. So you see this BB right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So BB, this is a Celtic symbol. It's more than 3,000 years old. And the thing is, it's like Birgit Braunstein. And in future time, for the next generation, it means Braunstein brothers. So it's a good thing. But the thing is that this is the beginning of the wine tradition in our area. The Celtic people, 3,000 years ago, they started with winemaking here at the Leiterberg. So it's a very old, traditional wine growing region. And well, our family winery is about 600 years old. So we know we have an old farmer house. It's very traditional, beautiful. It's in the center of Purbach, and it's the place where we live and where is the winery. So long tradition in the area as well as in the family.
So did you know growing up that you wanted to be in wine, or many people that are born into a wine family go and try their luck in the city and figure out they had a really plan back home?
Good question, Jeff. Because as children, I have a brother, 2 years older. He's running a restaurant now. And my brother and me, we were working in the restaurant, in the winery. And as I was 12, 14, I said, I never want to be any restaurant owner or a winemaker because it's so much work. And my friends are swimming at the lake and I was working in the vineyards. So I decided to go to Vienna in a school, business school, tourism school. And after going my other ways, finding out that it's not my true love, I was coming back 95 and 96 was my first vintage. And then I knew, yes, I'm at the right place and I want to do it.
Yeah, it's not an unusual story that people think, oh, that's not, and then you come back and you realize what a beautiful life, and it's hard work, but it's very rewarding, I think.
Coming back to the roots, yes.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, hard work, but if you have passion, you don't count the hours. It's
that's
not
true.
necessary. It's because it's a fantastic job, really, really, really.
I am going to come back
You like
because
it, yes. Even Maxi said he liked it.
already, excellent. Well, that's good because then he can stay and help you with the work.
Uh, he's doing now, right now. Oh, yes,
They are.
they are both in the winery already.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to come back in like 15 minutes. There'll be a whole different crew of people watching, and we'll do a little tour, speak about the region again.
Yeah.
But can you tell about your journey towards biodynamism? And I like to hear your description. Like, what do you tell people? What is biodynamic? And then how did you find your way there?
Okay, so for me, I was as I was not learning I wasn't studying winemaking. I was studying tourism and economy. I had to learn by heart, and I was traveling a lot in my youth time. So I was going also to Bordeaux, and there I was getting to know. I got to know biodynamic in the '95. It was Canola Café in Saint-Emilion. And I was really fascinated by that idea because I saw the difference in the soil. Yeah? I mean, if you know that there's the soil and the vines. So I said, okay, when I want to take over, I will do that. But it was a kind of process. Biodynamic means always it is a process. It's a process in my thinking, in my mind, in the family, as well as for the employees. So it's not just a modern term. It is a feeling. It is a way of life. So I was changing the vineyards into organic first. Then step by step, I was studying biodynamic for over years, getting to know all the teas and preparates, and then we changed into biodynamic. So biodynamic means it's an holistic system. To do organic first, don't use any chemical pesticides, fungicides. Even in the cellar, it's no chemical additives.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to organic, biodynamic, it's the highest classification you can get in the organic scene, and it is the holistic approach. We are looking about how is the impulse of Mother Earth. So in the springtime, the earth wants to grow out. So all the flowers, the trees, the plants, they want to grow out. And this is a kind of breathing out. And there is a kind of preparat we are using for that. It's the 500 preparat. It's with the cow horn. If you see the cow horn, yeah.
You're rigging
Right?
that.
Yeah. And with that cow horn dung preparat, we spray just 40 liter per hectare on the soil in the springtime, and it's a kind of impulse that the nature is growing out, and you see it with your eyes, you can feel it, you can smell it. So there are a really big difference. And well, now we have middle of the year, and which means the time of growth is already finished. It's time for the ripeness, for the concentration. And so, Maxi, could you change that thing? I mean, not the technical thing. So, Jeff, could you have a look? Do you
Yes,
see
please.
me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you also hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So for summertime, we spray crystal. It's from mountain from Austria. We smash the crystal. We put it in the horn, and then this crystal, this preparat is under the earth for the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
And next year, the year following, we spray. It's kind of like
take it out.
we take it out, yes, and we spray it in the aura up across the vineyards. So
Okay.
next week we will spray it on the leaves and a meter above, and it's just it's like a fine foggy spraying.
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just some seconds. It's like magic and fantastic for me because the leaves they turn, and they want to cut. They want to catch the sun, and this is
Wow.
the idea. Yes, it's fantastic. This is the second impulse. It's the impulse of the cosmos, the impulse of the sun to catch
Hmm.
the concentration, the light, and to bring the light, the sun into the plant. And the leaves are turning. It's like a photovoltaic machine
Huh.
collecting the
Und
sun.
man kann den Unterschied auch sehen. Seit wir das spritzen, es wächst alles viel schneller.
Okay, so Max is telling me that I have to add that you can see really immediately the difference since we are working with that. The vineyard is changing. It gets the structure. The leaves get the direction to the sun, and even the plant is like there's elasticity in the plant. Yeah, it's moving, and the wind is coming through, and the plant is moving, and then you will find this elasticity, this finesse, this moving in a fine tannin structure in the wine. This is the result. What is the result? The result is that we want to have healthy soil, humus, soil which is balanced, and
Hmm.
so that we get this balance in the wine. So balanced wine, finesse, and full of light, and you can enjoy it.
That's fascinating, I have to say. Do you find that the biodynamic helps the vineyard stay strong and healthy, and so you have a better yield? Or do you find that there is a different taste in the glass or a vibrancy in the glass?
So both. Um, uh, First of all, the vineyard is much more healthy.
Mm-hmm.
As I saw the change, there is, you know, the lake. It's also famous for botrytis, the sweet
Mm-hmm.
wines. We're gonna talk about it. But so for me, as I want to make dry red wine and dry white wine, there is less pressure of fungi for the botrytis, but as well as for oidium, which is now really dangerous. So the soil is getting in balance, and the plant has a kind of immune system. What we do is to strengthen the plant, to enforce the immune system. So it's like human being. If you eat some healthy food, then you have a strong immune system. And it's the same thing with the plant. The plant can react on the fungi, and the plant can react on if it's a weather, with a dry weather, or if it's rainy. So it's kind of reaction the plant is doing on her own. It's not us, it's the plant, and this is the idea behind. And in case of the wine, you were asking, if you taste, and you taste a lot, if you taste the wines all over the world, they're coming from biodynamic wineries, Demeter wineries. They always have something like bright, shining idea. Or if you drink the wine, you get a kind of positive feeling. You can drink another glass. It's never too much. So it's this kind of probably vivivity in the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And for sure, Jeff, there are no additives. So
Yeah. I do want to ask you just briefly, since you're right there and people don't very often see the lake, as I said before, Rooster Ausbruck is the sweet wine from the region, and my understanding is the lake is very shallow, so the fog is off, and then you've got the wind that you mentioned. But why does botrytis happen from that particular region?
well, I try to get. You do see the lake now better
Yeah.
because it's so. The lake had a big surface, and like Rust, you have been in Rust or Ilmitz, they are really next to the lake, and there is a higher humidity at these villages and these sites.
Okay.
Especially in late summer or fall. And
Mm-hmm.
so this humidity helps to develop the fungi Botrytis cinerea. This fungi, it's healthy fungi. This fungi comes at the grape, and it bites into the skin of the berries, and then as you see, we have a sunny area. The sun is in the morning. There is this humidity. The fungi is developing, and then for lunchtime, the sun is coming, and then the sun is drying out the berries. So there is not too much juice. There's a reduction of the juice and a high concentration of sugar, high concentration of aromas. So you have a very, very high concentration, and this is very famous for, like in Rust, the Ruster Ausbruch. It's one of the first sweet wines of the world.
Thank you very much. It's one of my favorite places. But so I'd like to hear more about the wines that you make now. And I think most people are more familiar with, say, with Gruner from the Wachau and Kamptal, but much more recently we're hearing about red wine from Burgenland and down by you. Can you tell us about your wine and the grapes that grow, but do you have any insight? Is that just the progression of interest in Austria, or is there something else that's sparking interest in your region for someone in New York that sees you guys?
So first of all, I think Blaufränkisch rocks the world. So Blaufränkisch, it's the red wine coming from our area, and it's the most important red wine also in my winery. It's very famous here, and it's a typical red wine of Burgenland. Blaufränkisch, it's strong, powerful, has a dense structure, and it's a wonderful wine. It carries a lot of terroir, and you can keep it very long time. So we are really proud about the Blaufränkisch, the red wine, where we can show us in all over the world. Even in New York, I think it's already very famous.
Yeah, very much
and then,
so.
The second red wine is the Zweigelt. Zweigelt is the Austrian red wine, which is more the fruity one. It's you can say it's probably everybody's darling red wine, which is soft, fruity, and with the cherry notes. And this is the Zweigelt. So both red wines are regional varietals coming out from our place. And for the white, we don't have any Gruner Veltliner or Riesling, as you was telling, because here it's the place of. I'm just turning, and I hope you see now. So this is the Leiterberg. The Leiterberg surrounds the lake on the northwestern part. Yeah, and this of the most beautiful places you can get in Austria, because we have schist and chalky limestone. And chalky limestone is coming from the sea. You get me? Yeah?
Yeah.
So there was 20 million years ago, there was a sea. There was here. Now it's the lake, but there was a sea. And do you see me?
Yeah, I see the picnic table right now.
Okay, the picnic table. So there was a sea, yeah.
Yeah.
And due to the sea, there was coming the chalky limestone on the schist. So 900 years ago, the monks brought us Pinot Blanc and Chardonnay. Well, it sounds international, but these are the traditional white wine varietals of our area and of my place. And I want to show you just now. Do you see that?
Yeah.
The picnic place, yeah?
Yeah.
With the stones, the schist, and you see the chalky limestone like that. I found it in the Chardonnay vineyards, the shellfish. You cannot eat it anymore. Kannst den Opa anrufen. So shellfish on chalk, and this is the best soil for Pinot Blanc, and Chardonnay. These are
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Now you make three, like on your website, there's three different like groupings of your wines. Can you explain those?
Yes. So that's a good idea. So this is Chardonnay, Blaufränkisch, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Blanc, which are the famous for the Leiterberg. This is typical for the region, and the traditional varietals. These are the varietals which are with a lot of taste of terroir. And then I have a kind of diversity Like Zweigelt, rosé, fruity, spicy rosé. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a special wine which is called, zack, you see it?
Yeah.
This Wildwuchs or Wildwuchs. And this is a wine which is a blend out of Zweigelt and Blaufränkisch and a bit St. Laurent. And this label is already telling about something, what we are doing in our winery. The one thing is that we do biodynamic because we want to have healthy nature, healthy wine,
Mm-hmm.
which um, uh, good to enjoy, but we also want to give something back to the nature, which means monoculturing. It is not. It is pure for nature, and the nature is seeking. So we plant cherry trees, we plant nut trees. We also have goose and chickens. We have bees. I'll show
Wow.
you. So do you see it? The bees. We have
Mm-hmm.
15 population of bees. We
Wow.
have sheep in the vineyard and goats. Yeah,
Boy, that's
and
a
yeah, it's so funny. And yes, yesterday we got a baby, so
oh,
chicken, and so fantastic. So this is this biodiversity project. It's called Wildwuchs, and it's because there is a saying: there is only one healing power, and that it's nature. So we
yeah.
should help nature and as good as we can. And this wine, it's kind of an ambassador of this project.
I love it. Wow.
Yeah.
That,
Well, and then it's our flagship wine, which also the grandfather of Max already produced it. It's called Oxhoft.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Oxhoft. It's a blend out of Blaufränkisch, Zweigelt, and Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
So Max's grandfather planted already Cabernet Sauvignon. And please, it's a secret. Don't tell it. It was illegal in that time to plant
Okay.
Cabernet Sauvignon, but nowadays it's legal.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a blend out of old wines and mainly Blaufränkisch, but it's let me say a bit of Bordeaux blend, but there's a lot of Austria inside and the taste of chalky limestone. So these are the two different, the Leiterberg idea and the biodiversity idea. And the third thing, you were telling about it, it
Mm-hmm.
was it's the Birgit Pur line,
Mm-hmm.
Birgit's wines of hearts, touching and untouched. And in future time, they're becoming a Braunstein brother line. And this is our line, the natural orange and yeah, untouched wines.
Wow.
So you see here, the one it's Magna Mater. Fermentation it's done in the amphora
Mm-hmm.
because in the beginning I was telling that the Celtic people started with winemaking 3,000 years ago, and the
Mm-hmm.
Celtic people they did it in amphora. Yeah. So so we were curious about that old tradition, and so we started in the year 2009 with
Wow.
amphora fermentation of Chardonnay and Blaufränkisch in amphora, and then the wine was stored 3 years in amphora,
Wow.
and there is no filtration, no sulfuring at all. So it's completely pure nature, and this is the pure Braunstein line. Um, it's a kind of well, it opens a bit. Uh, it makes you curious because it's different. The taste is different, but for sure, it's very, very interesting.
I love it. I have to say hi to Carrie Sumner, who's just got on here. I forgot to tell her we were talking, but she introduced us. And I think you have in common that she wants to do the amphora also, but your amphora are in the ground, right?
Yes. So I'm not now as a we are standing in the vineyards, but the forests are in the ground in our herbal garden. They are digged under the ground. Um, and we put during harvest time we put in the grapes, we close the amphoras, and we don't have any look the whole winter time inside. So just in spring we open it and then we empty the amphoras in the garden. that we put the grapes out, the wine out, and we put then the wine into the cellar, or again stored in amphoras. And all is done manually. There is no machine, no engine used. It's just our manpower.
So how do you get the wine out of the amphora in the ground? Just by bucket, lifting it up?
You saw my son Max. He's a really strong guy. As he's taking a basket, and yes,
Wow, that's a lot of work.
for him it's an easy job. Also for Felix. Felix, it's his brother. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and you're leaving the amphora outside?
They are digged in the garden.
Wow.
They were digged 2009, and since then they are in the garden underground. So we never moved them.
That's fantastic. I've been to the Republic of Georgia and seen that, and I've not seen that before in Austria. So I think that's exciting. Wow, I can't wait to try it.
Yeah. So Magna Mater, it's the name of this amphora wine, which means it's Latin term, and it means Big Mother Earth. Because when you, in my feeling and our feeling is that our impression that if you drink this wine, if you taste this wine, and you close your eyes and you get the feeling of good feeling in the stomach, it slows down. So it's Mother Earth inside.
Wow. Say, we're almost at the half an hour, and I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I have to ask, when we talk about wines, we often talk about just in the vineyard. Do you do anything differently in winemaking since you're biodynamic?
Differently, sorry, in winemaking?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Jeff. We have a really traditional cellar, old house, and our philosophy is to get to know the idea, the potential of the grape, of the vineyard. Mm-hmm. If it is chocolate, limestone, it's yeast, old wines, younger wines. So to understand what is coming out from the vineyard, and this is the main work. And then in the cellar, it's just soft, careful treatment. There are no additive. It's all done with spontaneous fermentation. So the whole cellar, there's just natural yeast. There are no enzymes. Roughly filtered. So the philosophy is do it exactly, but like a philosophy of slow wine. Take time and let the wine develop as it's coming from the vineyard.
Beautiful. I love that. Say, do you have the Hörigers restaurants down by you, or is that in the north?
Yes, it's Heurigen. It's Austrian famous way of restaurants, and we also have that in our region.
You do.
Yes. So even that's now summertime, a lot of people are coming, and we open also our winery for some days in summertimes. We make a small Heurigen to put a glass of wine, have a nice bread, then some jam from our pigs. So it is kind of quite a traditional gastronomic idea, but very, very heartful.
Yeah, beautiful. So since we're in the vines, can you tell us where the vines are in their life cycle?
Okay. We were now at, I have to go back. This is now Pinot Blanc. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this vineyard is 35 years old. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What we are doing is now we do the soft pruning. So we want to get vineyards which are hundreds of years old. So we try to keep the wine as well as good as we can, mm-hmm. so that we get 100 years old wines. Okay. And now at the moment the work is that we move in the leaves. Should I show you?
I'd love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Max, I have to turn it. So you see the vineyard now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So this is the Pinot Blanc. The berries, you see the berries here?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. The berries, this is typical for Pinot Blanc. The flowering is over, and the grapes are now like green beans. Mm-hmm. And it's so, everything is then perfect. And what our job is now, that the leaves have to put in the wire, so that the sun can come to every leaf. And as I told you about the 500 Watt preparat, this is like a leaf is wanted to collect the sun. This is the classical symbol of the leaf collecting the sun. And the leaves have to be in the wire so that every leaf get the sun, and the leaf is carrying the sugar into the berries. So and the grapes are all at once soon. So the next step will be that we put away a bit of the leaves, so that there is enough wind coming through and the sun is shining on the grapes, so there's no humidity, too much humidity at the plant. So working biodynamic, working organic means to be very strict we make a lot of handwork in the vineyard so that we have a healthy system also for the plant. We also make the harvest manually. It will be end of August, beginning of September, and every grape is sorted. We look at the berries. So we do a lot of work is done manually.
Wow. So I will wind this up. I want to ask if you have any last words. Can you tell us where you are with Corona? Are you back to normal and everything?
Well, it was quite a shock for us, for sure, yeah? Because we have about 60-70% export, and the export was stopped. We could work with the family work in the vineyard because the nature didn't stop. We had a lot of work, and it was incredible how the nature was spreading out and developing, and their birds, and so the animals were coming. So nature was happy, and we had enough place to work. But for sure, in case of economy, even the order for the States or Australia, there was no ship coming. It was quite difficult, and for sure, I think we will need 2 years to solve problems.
Yeah.
The message is: please drink, enjoy wine. Yes. I mean, you decide what you buy. If I think it's the decision of also the wine lovers, which wine I drink, the wine which is good for the nature as well, for the body, and we do our best. We will go on, and I want to add something, because we are standing at the top of the hill, and I was telling about the Celtic people, and the Celtic people were living here, and the vineyard we are standing now, there is a Celtic grave.
Oh wow!
Yeah, here you can see it.
Oh,
and this is a very special and energetical place. I think. I hope you will feel it. And there is also a kind of wishing tree, Jeff.
Oh.
And now I want to make a kind of symbol for you and your state and all your fans, wine lovers. I'm sending you health, luck.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
I wish you a wonderful time. And Max and me, our whole family, take care.
Oh my gosh!
And may all your good wishes come true.
That is so moving. You are just the sweetest thing. I have enjoyed this chat so much. Your passion and just joy at what you do is so evident, and you're so kind. Thank you so much. And thank you, Max. And we're sorry we missed Felix next time around, okay?
Yes, just visit us, and when we come to New York, we will give you a note.
I can't wait. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Good luck. Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.